Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sanjay Kumar Soni, oral and maxillofacial surgeon. In my previous video on management of head and neck cancer, I have already described about surgical management and chemotherapy in head and neck cancer patient. In this video, I am going to discuss about radiation therapy and other management in cancer patient. Coming on to the radiation therapy. Radiation therapy may be administered with intent to cure or as a part of combined radiation, surgery and or chemotherapy management or for palliative treatment. Radical radiotherapy is intended to cure. Palliative therapy provides symptomatic relief from pain, bleeding, ulceration and oropharyngeal obstruction. Radiations kill the cancer cell by targeting the tumor cells DNA with high energy photons. This causes DNA damage and hence prevent replication by these cells. It preferentially kills the cancer cells as they are dividing and have a higher growth fraction. Although it may harm to some normal cells through that are dividing. The affected cells may die or may be rendered incapable of division. When there is a question arises to choose between radiation therapy and surgery, radiation therapy has the advantages of treating the disease in situ and avoiding the need for unnecessary removal of the sound normal tissue as well. But when faced with question of whether to opt for surgery or for radiotherapy, it is important to understand how exactly radiation works in such cases of therapies. And we should consider following factors. The relative cure that can be obtained in that case when radiation therapy is employed as compared to other modalities. Number 2, the relative morbidity and complications that is associated with radiation therapy when compared to surgery. The cosmetic and functional result of versus surgery. Improved local control and survival that can be achieved if the combination of radiation and surgery is done. Now coming on to the options for radiation therapy. Lesions that are small, less than 3 cm in size and superficial, exophytic and without necrotic areas. The more differentiated a tumor, the lesser will it responds to radiation therapy. Superficial lesions where the functional and cosmetic result of radiation are better than surgery. When the lesion is potentially extremely sensitive, radiotherapy becomes the treatment of choice, for example, lymphomas. If a lesion, when tested clinically, histologically, and otherwise shows lymphatic involvement, radiotherapy is useful as it covers a wide range of lymphatic patient medical conditions, patient in whom radical surgery and prolonged anesthesia are absolutely contraindicated, and in the end, availability of equipment and expertise. The treatment plan for radiation therapy is dependent upon certain factors like where the tumor is located, how large or small the tumor is, what is the total volume of area that will receive the radiations, how many treatment fraction will be required, how long will this treatment last, is the patient tolerant to such a treatment. Treatment planning requires localization of tumor and radiation planning. Brachytherapy. Brachytherapy may be the primary treatment modality for localized tumors, boosted dose of radiation to a specific site following recurrence. Directly implanted source may be used to deliver the radiation dose, or an after loading technique may be used in which radiation source is placed by using previously inserted guide tubes. These implants deliver radiation in immediate vicinity to the implanted isotope and at a relatively low dose rate, which has an added biological advantage in sparing the normal tissue. Interstitial and intracavitary implants may be used for brachytherapy. Interstitial technique involve placing the radiation source in the tissue mass of tumor growth, while intracavitary technique implies placing the source in a close proximity to the tumor in the nearest body cavity. Commonly used isotopes are cesium, iridium, and gold. Cesium 137 is directly inserted around cervix, deliver a high dose of radiation to locally advanced cervical cancer. External beam technique. Radiation therapy is primarily given by external beam using electromagnetic radiations. Low energy external beam sources are referred to as orthovoltage. These orthovoltage beams are more damaging to bone and hence require shielding of bone. Megavoltage beams from cobalt-60 or linear acceleration of 4 million electron volts or higher are used for external beam treatment. It is beneficial in treating superficial lesions. Now coming on to the peroral cones or applicators. Peroral radiation or direct applicator may be delivered with electrons using special cones or applicator instruments. This approach is useful alone or combined with external beam X-rays for lesions under 3 cm in diameter. This therapy can produce effects which are parallel to brachytherapy. It is clearly superior to external beam for T2 tumor of the floor of the mouth. What are the complications of radiation therapy? When delivering ionizing radiations to an area to kill the cancer cells, some collateral damage is unavoidable and many complications are frequently observed. These include acute skin reactions or radiation dermatitis, causing loss of hair, dryness of skin by damage to sweat glands, redness, frequent ulceration, delayed skin and subcutaneous damage including telangiectasia, edema and fibrosis. Radiation damage to chromosomes may predispose a cell to malignant behavior. Damage to bone marrow may result in leukemia, anemia, lymphopenia. Cataract of lens can be induced by high dose of radiations. Brittleness of nails, radiation otitis media, and even deafness due to rupture of eardrums. Alteration in fertility when areas subjected to radiation include gonads. A specific late effect of radiotherapy is the development of secondary malignancies noticed in case of Hodgkin lymphoma and breast cancer which received radiation therapy. Now coming on to the changes in the intraoral cavity. Acute mucositis, redness, pain, ulcers covered by pseudomembrane, which may become so severe that a break in the treatment may be required. Radiation caries can be seen, altered anatomy of developing teeth, damage to bone can lead to osteonecrosis and sequestration or progressive osteonecrosis. Damage to salivary gland can cause hyposalivation and xerostomia. Damage to taste bud may cause temporary or permanent alteration of taste. Now coming on to the combination therapy. Surgery and radiotherapy. Surgery has the ability to remove the major bulk of tumor, including the potentially resistant central portion, and radiation then helps to sterilize the route of spread in the lymphatic and other tissues that cannot be excised completely by surgery. Combination of surgery and radiation are used in at least one half of all cancer treatment. Radiation can be used preoperatively, postoperatively, or in a planned split course approach. Preoperative radiation therapy can prove beneficial by reducing the size of large tumor and hence making them easier to remove by surgery. If proper fraction- if proper fractionation of dose and technique are employed, post-operative complications are significantly reduced. Post-operative irradiation is used more extensively. Why it is helpful? Preoperative radiations, destruction of the peripheral tumor cells, potential control of subclinical disease, converting inoperable lesion into operable one, benefit of postoperative radiations, treat cells remaining in the margins after removal of central mass tumor, control subclinical disease. Now benefit of combining chemotherapy and radiation therapy. There is enhanced effect when chemotherapy is given prior to radiotherapy or in rapidly alternating sequence to radiation therapy. This combination enhances local disease control and is useful in cases where surgery is not an option. Combined chemoradiotherapy has generally utilized single agent along with radiation. Multi-agent chemotherapy when combined with radiotherapy can have higher incidence of mucositis and hence a rapidly alternating schedule is employed to decrease the toxicity of agents used as well as to make the treatment possible without interruptions. Now combination of the all therapy, chemotherapy, radiation therapy and surgery. Combination of all the three, that is chemotherapy, radiation as well as surgery, in any sequence of treatment plan can be useful in many difficult to treat cases of cancer. With all three of these working in their individual mechanism, they can provide a combined rapid effect in the curative process. Hormonal therapy, cancer originating from the tissue that are under the influence of hormones like breast, prostate and endometrium often respond to agents that can inhibit the hormonal secretions by blocking the respective hormones receptor. Biological therapy, interferon, interleukin-2 and monoclonal antibodies are examples of biological therapies. For example, interferon therapy is used commonly for treating chronic myelogenous leukemia. Interleukin-2 is used in patients with metastatic renal carcinoma. Now coming on to the targeted therapy. Targeted therapy is the use of drug and antibodies that target specific receptors to a cancer or critical for cancer cellular growth. For example, monoclonal antibodies are used in the treatment of patients with low-grade lymphoma and breast cancer. Bone marrow transplantations. Cancer involving bone marrow can prove to be very difficult to treat by conventional therapy as bone marrow is extremely susceptible to complications produced by radiation and chemotherapy. For example, bone marrow transplantation can improve survival rate of patients with chronic myelogenous leukemia, relapsed Hodgkin and non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and acute leukemia. Now coming on to the palliative therapy or palliative care. Cancer care in an advanced stage require every skill of the clinician to provide the patient a better and more comfortable life by decreasing the symptoms. Palliative therapy delivered in any of the already mentioned ways of radiation therapy, chemotherapy, surgery, or combination therapy, delivered at a lower intensity than the conventional treatment regime so as to provide palliative effect. For example, palliative chemotherapy in 5 to 10% of unresectable lung cancer has long-term disease-free survival. Now take home message or conclusion. Cancer remains to be an unpredictable form of disease with sky-high incidence of recurrence or even complete resistance to therapeutic radiation and chemotherapeutic drugs, hence placing the patient at high mortality risk. The best chance of winning against cancer is by avoiding the battle altogether. Therefore, certain preventive changes to your lifestyle can make you less susceptible to these diseases. These include abstinence from alcohol abuse, smoking, or any other form of tobacco, including smokeless tobacco, consuming a healthy, balanced diet, maintaining a strong body immunity, and taking necessary protection against the carcinogenic substance that might be present in your work or home environment. With this, I have finished with the various treatment modalities we had in the patient. Thank you.